When executing a merger or an acquisition, it's crucial to take into account the emotions of the buyer and the seller. For the seller, the company being sold is like their child. It's hard to let go. Buyers must be open about their plans so there are no nasty surprises. And all of this will produce a great long-term deal. It's not just about getting the transaction over the line and then walking away. Well, that's according to my guest today, Anders Erik Nauer, Managing Partner and CEO of Nordic M&A, one of the top corporate finance advisors in the Scandinavian region. I'm Sarah Lockett. Welcome to the Business Debate. Anders, welcome to the London Stock Exchange studios.
Oh, glad to be here, Sarah.
So we think of business as being business. It's devoid of emotion, and we even have this phrase, it's not personal, it's business. But why do you think that you need to really be careful of emotions in M&A deals?
I think, Sarah, emotions is actually touches upon the holy grail of M&A. M&A is all about trust. And trust, again, is all about emotions. And unless you have trust in a transaction, it's not going to happen. So I think emotion plays a crucial role in actually making the buyer and the seller come together. No trust, no deal. It's actually all about emotions for us.
And also for the seller, the company can be like their baby, can't it?
It's a cliche, obviously, that you're letting go of your child when you sell your company, but nevertheless, it's actually true. Especially true, obviously, for an owner-manager who created the company himself or herself, created it from scratch. It is very difficult to separate from that dream that you're actually letting go of your child and now giving it to somebody else to take it over and manage it.
And so are you quite unusual in caring about the emotions of everyone involved? And does it actually improve the outcome of the deal that you do care about it?
I think unless you care about it, you'll end up with a deal that not necessarily is the best deal for either the buyer or the seller. If you're the buyer, obviously you want the seller to be emotionally on board the journey once you buy it. And if you're the seller, you're not going to sell your company to a buyer that you don't like, basically. So it's all about creating the trust and the environment for people to come together to really craft the deal.
And the Nordic M&A market is quite unusual. Most deals are done within the Nordic region. Tell me about the market.
Yeah, the market it's Denmark, Norway, Sweden and Finland. There are 1,500 deals in total. Sweden is 600 deals per year. The rest divides 300 deals per year. So about, I think, 85% of the deals are getting crafted within the region, which means that it's only 15% of the deals that happens outside, of which US takes about 10% of the deals.
And you say that we shouldn't expect one company to be owned by the same people for decades and decades, and why not?
I think business cycles, if you look at it in general, have become shorter. They used to be a little bit longer, and there used to be the notion that if you owned a company, you would stick with it forever. That notion has now gone away because business cycles have become so much shorter. So there's an increasing understanding from the seller side that as businesses evolve through business cycles, you might not necessarily be the right owner for the next cycle to come. And put it in a Nordic perspective, let's assume you've crafted a company in Denmark, expanded it to the near markets in Norway and Sweden. You've then come to a step which is quite a significant step because you want to take it international, and you must recognize you're not necessarily the right owner to do that. So you need somebody else to take over and do that for you.
And why do you have to care about the long-term success of the deal? Isn't it just, you get your fee, you get the transaction done, you're on to the next one?
Well, I could do that in theory, but if I did that, I would be out of business in 2 or 3 deals. Because M&A and M&A advisors is all about reputation and trust. And if we didn't care about the outcome or advised on deals that wouldn't be best for the owner or the buyer, we would soon be out of business because nobody would want to work with us.
And which industry are you seeing a lot of activity in?
Three sectors. We're seeing a lot in IT and tech. Obviously, the Nordic region is a very well-developed market for the whole IT sector because we're so small, so you can experiment very quickly with IT, and in particular IT healthcare is having a boom time. But then there are the general sectors, consumer, industry, and the more general industrial market as well is coming up.
And you operate globally, you're not just local to the Nordic region, and you,
Yes.
you partner with other partners. How does that
Sure.
work?
It works in the sense that, in essence, what you want in any M&A deal is a local expert, which means that if I want to do a deal with a buyer or a seller in Washington, for instance, I need to make certain that my colleague in Washington has the right local network. Me, as a Danish person, I don't, but I need to reach out to my colleague in Washington to make sure that he has what it takes to do a deal in that geography. So we have a network of 500 people around the world to make sure that we're always on the right location locally.
Thank you for telling us all about that, Anders.
Thank you.
And join us next time when we'll be discussing the latest innovations in digital banking and the future of mobility. But for now, from me, Sarah Lockett, at the London Stock Exchange studios, it's goodbye and thanks for watching.